Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another Smite 2 deep dive to go over. This time, they're going to be covering Conquest. Obviously, a very important part of the game. Other game modes we haven't heard anything about yet. I imagine they will be there. Maybe not in beta, could just be that it's Conquest in beta, but for the full release of the game, I can't imagine some of the more popular modes will be there. All of them will be there, I don't know, like Slash maybe not, but like Arena's probably going to be there, Jazz probably going to be there, Assault's probably going to be there by the time they get full releases, I would imagine. I haven't heard anything on it yet officially though. And of course, Conquest is like the main mode that they make changes around and that the game will be played competitively on, all that kind of stuff. So very important for the game. Very excited to see what they have in store for us in terms of Smite 2 Conquest. And yeah, let's just jump right in.
My name is Matthew Barkis, and I am one of the level designers on Smite 2.
I'm Aaron, and I'm the lead environment artist for Smite 2.
Smite 1's Conquest has had 10 years of iteration and new features being added. And we felt like maybe it became too complex as time went on when we started making Conquest in Smite 2.
This is something that always gets touted, and it might be a hot take, but I completely disagree. I think just having the basic map that, like, for example, we had in beta with literally just Gold Fury, Fire Giant, and 3 lanes, and that's kind of it. I think adding more interesting mechanics to the map over time is very important. Of course, that does put a bit more of a burden on people that are completely new to the game, so I understand with Smite 2 if they would want to, like, kind of scale it back a little bit and have the game be a bit simpler to get into, but I'm definitely not opposed to them adding new mechanics and changes to Conquest and make it more complex over time as, like, Smite 2 develops as a game, similar to what they did with Smite 1.
We identified what are the most important things that Conquest needs. So the lane.
Dude, Phoenix looking good. It's in like an egg now. That's kind of cool.
The towers, the minions, the titans, and the jungle camps. And then we tried to deepen those things first before we decided, okay, let's add something new.
Once the map's been designed...
Oh, dude, look at that. This is like B-roll cinematic footage, not like exact gameplay, but it is obviously in engine. That looks so good, dude. That looks so good. The dynamic shadows from the trees, the foliage in general looks a lot more high quality. The rocks and stuff as well, all looking really good.
The map's been designed, it'll come to our team, and we pretty much art up the entire map. Conquest has been the first map for Smite 2, and that's the one we've been putting all of our attention in right now. One of the big
it says first map there. Obviously, new ones are coming.
Differences between UE5 and UE3 now is that we can actually help other teams facilitate a lot with creating the map. So, for instance, design, we would have to either do something for them or they would have to wait on us. But now we have pipelines in flow where we can really collab with each other pretty nicely now.
In Smite.
Yeah, so it seems like that kind of stuff that they were talking about with a lot of the gameplay programming for like abilities on gods and changes they want to make. It seems like a lot of that is also present in like changes that can be made to Conquest. They can do a lot of prototyping. They can kind of bounce things around very quickly between teams, like rather than needing to send it over to the like environment team and then wait like a week for them to get back to you. And then if you don't like it, send it back and stuff like that. It seems like it's just a much better like and faster workflow overall when considering Smite 2.
And really collab with each other pretty nicely now.
In Smite 1, the floor that you stand on is just
Oh, dude, that's whack. Oh my god. That's so cursed.
one big giant mesh. And if we would ever want to make a change to it, we'd have to ask the art team to go and repaint the whole thing, make adjustments to it, and it would take a long time. Now in Smite 2, we can just paint directly onto the mesh. So I can even go in as a designer and just make changes.
We also have a lot more freedom with the amount of stuff we could put on the map. And not only can we put more stuff in, but we can also make it run better, smoother for all the players so they can really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Whether that's true or not, we'll have to see when the game fully releases. But a lot of people were concerned when they initially announced Smite 2 of like, oh, the game looks so good. It's going to be on UE5. It's going to be exclusive to PS5 and Xbox Series SX, I think is what they're on right now. And like people were having a little bit of trouble thinking like, you know, will it be able to run on these consoles very well? Will it be able to run on low-end PCs very well? And they're saying here that it's going to run better than Smite 1. Whether that will be true remains to be seen, but if that is true, then that's obviously incredible. One of the concerns that people had, like one of the valid concerns anyway, a lot of unvalid concerns about Smite 2 floating around there, as we all know, but one of the very valid concerns was that, yeah, is this going to be harder to run? Is my PC that's a few years old going to really be able to keep up with this and run it at a stable frame rate? And it seems like, based on what they're saying here, the game is going to run better than Smite 1, which is obviously incredible.
I want the environment to have an impact on some of the gameplay, and it should make it a pretty dynamic experience.
So there's a lot of different ways you can interact with the map. We have a new interaction system where you press a button and you either pick something up or you channel onto it and something happens. So we have jungle buffs from Smite 1, but now instead of walking over to pick them up, you have to press the interact key. The nice thing about this is that new players oftentimes pick up a buff accidentally, but now it's intentional that you pick up the buff.
Yeah, this is like a whatever change. I don't think it really is going to make any of a difference, but it's cool to have that. In terms of like the interactable map objectives and stuff, there's like the Warhorn that we've seen, and there's like the opening base doors, paying a percentage of your HP. I assume that is just to open enemy base doors. I assume opening your base doors probably still happens automatically like it does in Smite 1.
There's a lot of new jungle buffs in the map. We reworked all of them to be different for Smite 2. And in addition to them all being new, the jungle camps now level up when you kill them. So when they level up, the buffs that they give out are better.
This is really cool. I'm going to wait to see what they say on it because I may have more information than they're revealing in this video. I have, of course, played Smite 2. This is a really cool system, I'll say that much. Let's watch the rest of what they have to say so I don't end up breaking my NDA or anything like that.
And we have a little help tip in the game to show you what they give. But
oh, what was that? Stats. 4% movement speed every 3 seconds, max 3 stacks, taking damage removes all stacks. Okay, so basically it is speed buff.
What they give. But they're really powerful, and we hope that people fight over them. We love seeing people invade to try and get these jungle buffs.
Yeah, so they mentioned invades there as well. It seems like invades are going to be a bit more prevalent in Smite 2 than they were in Smite 1. Obviously, in Smite 1, we've had Invader's Curse for how many seasons is it now? Many seasons where invades are literally impossible. At least at level 1 invades are impossible. You can obviously invade later in the game. But yeah, it seems like they do want to incentivize invades a little bit more. And yeah, basically, they didn't say too much on it, but the jungle camps, as you kill them, level up over time, and the buff becomes more powerful. Can I say this? It's not really a big thing, really, is it? So at level 0 or level 1, the start of the game, they actually don't drop any buffs. You have to get them to the next level for them to start dropping buffs, and then like go up another level, and then the buff improves and stuff like that. It's a really cool system. I like it a lot. You know, as you go on in the game, you get these more and more powerful buffs, and if you're efficient at clearing them, you're going to get more of that. You also get stuff on your buffs if you invade the corresponding enemy buff in terms of getting levels for yours and stuff. It is an interesting system. I'm definitely a fan of it.
Will be changed a little bit. You should be able to recognize them when you do play with the minions that should be in there. It'll be a new experience without being completely unknown.
A couple other things you can interact with. The doors outside your base. Right now in Smite 1, when you walk through,
oh yeah, there you go. So that's presumably your base side door. You don't have to pay HP to do that.
Open, but you can't open it from the other side. Now you can open it from the other side. You just press the key to open it. The Warhorn is our new Totem of Coup replacement in the solo lane. So players will have to go walk over and channel onto it to capture it. Once it's captured, and if you complete the capture, it makes all your minions for the next wave stronger.
Yeah, so these are the champion minions, these big beefy boys here. You can see have 1700 HP compared to even warriors that have 700 at the front of the wave. This is kind of just like a mini Oni Fury that you can continuously capture if you've got pressure in the solo lane. I'm really sad to see Totem go. I would have almost liked them to have both. There's probably plenty of space in these side jungles where there's mainly just the teleporters, and that's kind of it. I would have liked to see them keep the Totem of Coup. I think it's incredibly iconic as a solo main. And really, it's a very well-designed objective, in my opinion. You know, it's not focused around being able to be stolen. It's just about, like, if you have pressure, pump some damage into it, and then you can secure that for your team. Get global gold, global MP5. It's a way for, like, solo laners to actually impact the game in the first 15 minutes when otherwise they would just be farming in lane. I think it's a really well-designed objective, but of course the Warhorn does also impact the game in a similar way in terms of being global. You get these waves in all 3 lanes.
When you walk up to these big gameplay areas like Gold Fury and Fire Giant, you should definitely be able to recognize where you are if you're coming from Smite 1, but it'll be a lot more impactful now. You'll definitely get a sense you're in a special area of the map. We really want to play with scale, make you feel like you're in a pit with Fire Giant, that if you walk in there, put down your ward and get out, or be ready for a fight.
So the Fire Giant is pretty good at what he does in Smite 1. He's your power play objective. He gives you a big team boost in power and protections. So we wanted to keep...
Well, these numbers are different now. Last time they showed us this, the numbers were very placeholder looking. They were very flat, and now they've clearly got some kind of like shadowing on them, and they've got icons and stuff like that. It definitely looks a lot better than it did before.
that. So we just reworked his kit.
I like the crit numbers as well, where they go like, it's sad to lose the iconic Smite one, like blood splatter crit numbers that look like they're from an arcade game, but yeah, it probably does look better to have these like orange crit numbers.
Just reworked his kit to be fresh and exciting for Smite 2. We also like that the Gold Fury has some endgame stuff that scales really well as the match progresses, so we want to
Endgame stuff that scales really well as the match progresses. Interesting. I don't actually know much about this, but yeah, it's really cool having Gold Fury. In Smite 1, it's like, it kind of does, especially with like Primal Fury stacking up over time. If you have a few Primal Furies on you, it definitely does help out a lot in terms of burning objectives and stuff like that. But yeah, I think a lot more could be done with Gold Fury. You know, you can look at like League of Legends Dragon for a good comparison, where the dragons are like really impactful, and it's actually very important to get those dragons, whereas like, you can lose a Gold Fury, especially in the late game. Even an Oni Fury, like it sucks to lose an Oni Fury in the late game because they get pressure in all 3 lanes and they can like pressure fire after that or whatever, but having Gold Fury be more relevant into the late game, so it's not just like a fire giant dance and that's kind of it, I think will be very interesting.
add a little bit of that for the fire giant. So each time he dies, his buff gets stronger as the match progresses and as more fire giant kills happen.
Okay, so basically a built-in like scaling way instead of just EFG turning online at like 30 minutes. Basically, every time he's killed, he's going to get slightly stronger. This grants power, health regen, mana regen, increases by 30 power and 20 protections for each fire giant kill in the game. Oh, that's a little bit scary. We don't know how protections and penetration and damage formulas are going to work in Smite 2. We don't know if it's going to be exactly the same. We're going to be waiting on the word of Thoth and some testing for that. Could probably do some testing myself as well once we get our hands on the game officially and I can showcase it for you guys. But 20 protections, if the formula is the same as in Smite 1, is going to be a little bit of a problem for squishies because they have diminishing efficiency. And so like if 4 fire giants have been taken and all the squishies have plus 80 protections, that's like halving the damage they take almost. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Whereas for a tank, it's going to be a much less decrease in the damage that you're taking.
The buff is progressively escalating. There are new Gold Fury changes. We know that Gold Fury is really important in the early and mid game. We wanted to add something there so that she's still worth taking in the end game. Now, when you defeat her,
your speed boost out of the fountain is doubled, is that what that said? Permanently doubled, god damn. Okay, so you can get very quickly back to fights if you end up like backing out on low health or something.
You defeat her, she gives you permanent team effects, and she has 3 of them.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about with like League of Legends Dragon. I think this is similar to what that does, where it gives you like these game-changing, like permanent team-wide buffs for taking them. And hopefully they come in like a predictable order as well, so that we can kind of know which one is coming our way and which ones to fight over and which ones to maybe potentially leave out. Nearby friendly minions take reduced damage and deal more damage, so you... Oh, that's actually very powerful. That's insanely powerful. Oh no, wait, nearby probably means there needs to be a god there. I was going to say, if that was just friendly minions take reduced damage and deal more damage, your waves would constantly push towards the enemy team for the entire rest of the game. That'd be insane. Still, this is useful, obviously, but you need to have a nearby enemy god to do that.
Once you get
nearby friendly god, sorry.
3, the Gold Fury then transforms into the Ancient Fury.
Ancient
Fury will then start turning off all the towers and phoenixes when you defeat.
Oh shit, all enemy towers and phoenixes disabled for 3 minutes? God damn. Obviously this stuff can be balanced. This is like just early implementations of it. 3 minutes of towers and phoenixes gone is kind of insane though. Like in a certain way, if they're just turtling in their base, like often happens in late game in Smite 1, that could be more powerful than a fire giant, 100%.
We're just excited that everyone will be able to play Smite 2 in its new form. Smite 1 has been going on for a long time now. And
oh, look at that backdrop, dude. That could be like a desktop background. I mean, there's probably higher quality ones that you can find, obviously, that aren't rendered in a game engine, but like that looks real nice, dude. That looks real nice.
And I feel like this changes. The only good things are going to come out of it.
I am so excited to let players play the new Conquest. We put a lot of new stuff in, and we hope they like it. And
oh, dude, I like that as well. I'm going a bit crazy on the art. Like this... like step up here into the map. It's a small thing, but like you can see up here is where the teleporter is, and it kind of like comes up and connects here. It just makes the world feel more real because you're not feeling like you're just on this plateau of like this area that exists and nothing else outside of that area is even real. It's just a backdrop. Whereas like having a path that kind of comes up, it makes it feel like you're in an area of a larger world rather than just being plonked into this tiny arena. It makes it feel a whole lot better. Small things, but does make a difference.
They like it, and we're really excited.
Me too, me too. Really good deep dive there. One of the more interesting ones for sure. Conquest, I mean, is pretty much all I play in Smite nowadays. Conquest and occasionally some assaults if I just want to chill out. Very important game mode, of course. When the competitive scene gets up and going for Smite 2, it's going to be very important to have Conquest in a good state for that, to get like the first season of Smite 2 Pro League going on. And yeah, mostly excited about a lot of the changes. The leveling up jungle camps is a really sick idea in my opinion. The Gold Fury changes look really good. Fire Giant has reworked attacks, I think they said as well. Teleporters, I'm not a huge fan of. I said this in one of my previous videos, but I'm not a big fan of the teleporter mechanic in general. I kind of hope they won't be there, but we'll see. And yeah, Totem of Q's gone. Kind of sucks. Warhorn's kind of cool as well, though. But yeah, that is the Conquest deep dive. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down below. It's obviously a very interesting topic. We got to see a lot of different changes here that are going to be coming. Smite 2 Conquest is going to look quite different from Smite 1 Conquest. Simplified in ways, but also like complicated in ways as well. Looks really interesting. Super excited to be able to actually like play this game on the channel and get you guys like gameplay videos and analysis and like mechanics and stuff like that. It's gonna be really exciting. So if you're hyped for Smite 2, drop a like on the video before you leave, and I will catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.